Good afternoon. This is for the case assignment for speech class. We're going to be discussing over four objectives so far, four student objectives that we've been covering for the past 4 weeks. So for week one, the first student objective, effective communication skills. Effective communication skills is basic interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is nonverbal or verbal communication. And why is it so important to have this communication skill? This communication skill is very important to basically having that open, wide communication. For example, in the work environment, it's very important to have that communication. So when there's a meeting or it's just a teaching or a training exercise, you can have that not have that confusion, and it will not lead to a lot of toxicity or a lot of tension in that work environment. So it's very important to have a good communication skill, not just for your work, but for your everyday life, and it will help along the run, especially with speaking in public and so on and so forth. So right into the public speaking, the second objective is public speaking. Public speaking is you're basically speaking in a group-wide audience, big or small, and the topics that you can basically use for public speaking is either budget, environmental, health care wise, social care wise, politics. It's basically anything that you can be very passionate with. And with that, you can basically speak in different settings, in different locations. You can speak in an outdoor setting or indoor setting. And there is some pros and cons with indoors or outdoor settings. Outdoor settings, you can basically have in a relaxed mood since you're in an outdoor scenery, or just having that open calmness and have that alleviate some tension, otherwise from like an inside setting where you're in a enclosed area and just the basic focal point is you. But the cons for that is the cons and negatives for outside setting. You don't know what the weather is gonna bring. It could be raining. It could be really hot and humid. It could be hot and windy. It could be many different things. So just to be prepared for those type of situations, you have to be extra prepared if you have to go into indoors. And indoors, it can feel very much cold and very boring, and it can make your audience feel less interactive with the speaking or with the presentation themselves. So for nonverbal communication, which this is the third subject that we're going to get into, nonverbal communication is basically texting, writing, basically nothing that you're speaking out for. Body language, and so on and so forth. Having good nonverbal communication is like, for example, smiling, having eye contact, just basically your body language. Your body language is one of the biggest nonverbal communications that you will have, and your audience would actually see and probably reciprocate that language as well. And for a bad nonverbal communication is not making eye contact, having a very slouchy body language, not very cold and distant body language, so on and so forth. So it's best to remember to have that good nonverbal communication, and just keep yourself aware that your audience is going to see that while you're public speaking as well. So for the fourth and final objective is basically about PowerPoints, technology. Technology nowadays is being a very big part of our public speaking area and critiques, such as PowerPoint. PowerPoint is one of the biggest ones for technology, just for their slides and so on and so forth. To have a good resources for PowerPoints and And to make a good PowerPoint, you can go to your local colleges. I know that University of South Carolina, they have great templates for PowerPoints and have great tips and tricks to make your PowerPoint look very much presentable and have that eye captivating for your PowerPoint. And one of the most important steps for your PowerPoint and also to have a good PowerPoint is basically to have a pattern with your PowerPoint, have a pattern, a slide. It's really important to have that because it helps to keep your audience have a continuous mood and also with smoothness, just to have that rate of smoothness and everything keeping the same. I know that for my experience and stuff, one of the great feedbacks that I had from like any of my instructors and so forth, or any of my work colleagues, just having your slides the same, it will help basically not make everything look clustered and deorganized. So having that will will help you with your PowerPoint success. So I hope you guys like this case assignment, and these objectives as well. And I hope you guys have an awesome and great day. Thank you.